There was a poor woman long ago, had not a stitch of clothes to put in her son. So she dug a hole beside the fire, filled it with ashes, and put the boy in among the ashes, and that kept him warm. Years later, she thought she'd better do something further, for the boy was sadly lacking in finesse and savoir-faire, though he was fine and healthy with all the mineral nourishment he was getting from the ashes. She found an old goatskin someone had thrown away, and she said to the boy,
"Wrap that around you, son. It'll be grand and warm and a fine suit of clothes for you."
So the boy climbed out of the ash pit, and he was huge. He got the goatskin wrapped round his waist and went for his first walk round the town. Oh, he thought he was a dandy. When he came back, his mother said,
"You great lump! You've been lying in the ashes 19 years, waited on hand and foot, and never stirred a finger to help your mum. Away to the woods and bring us back a bit kindling and some firewood."
Off he went to the woods. But as soon as he started gathering sticks, by there came a 25-foot giant and swung a fist at him. But the lad with the goatskin, not knowing his own strength, stuck a foot out, and the giant tripped and stumbled, and as he fell, the lad gave the giant a good clip over the ear, put a foot in his neck, and the giant said, in a small voice,
"Oh, let me up, young fella, and don't kill me, and I'll let you have me magic shillelagh. It's a fine, solid club, and whoever you hit with this shillelagh, you'll make mincemeat of him as long as you have a clear conscience."
"And you'll not hinder me gathering sticks," said the lad with the goatskin.
"Oh, take all the sticks you want," said the giant.
So the lad let him go. And he took the giant's magic shillelagh, about 10 foot long it was, with an iron spike in the end of it, and on that spike a yellow flea. It was the same family as the golden fleas. Away home he went with the sticks and the shillelagh. The mother was pleased to get the sticks. And the following day she said,
"Away to the woods, you lazy gomerel, and bring us in another bundle of sticks. Look at the size of you, 19 years old, never been much help to me at all."
Off to the woods he went. But as soon as he began gathering sticks, up there strode another giant, with 2 heads on this one of them with a squint, one of them with a leer. And the lad with the goatskin, up with the shillelagh, gave him left and right, knocked him down, stumped a foot on his nearest neck, and the giant says,
"Oh, spare us, and you'll get the use of me for Dan. It's a magic whistle, and whoever hears it played will dance willy-nilly till you stop playing it. Oh, let us up now and let us go."
The giant pulled the fadan out the pocket of his leopard skin leotard. "And I'll gather sticks with no more bother here," says the lad with the goatskin.
"Oh, not a wisp for a bother," says the giant. "Oh, let us go."
So the lad let him go, and picking up the fadan, he played a tune, and the bundle of sticks got up and danced home with the shillelagh. His mother was glad to get the sticks, and the next day she said to him,
"You muckle gowk, you needn't think you'll sit here till you get your porridge. Away and gather sticks for the fire."
Off to the woods he went. Up there rushed a beauty of a giant. Oh, he was mighty, this one. He'd oiled up his biceps with coconut grease. He'd a shaved head in the middle of his shoulders, a shaved head in the left of it, another shaved head in the right of it, and a t-shirt saying, "Jesus shaves." The lad with the goatskin up with the shillelagh gave the giant a thwack that turned his knees to jelly, made mincemeat out of him, dropped him in his tracks, and the lad struchtly stamped a foot in the nearest neck, and the giant said, "Oh, spare my life." He had the deepest voice of all the giants, this one. Very high voices, these giants. "Spare my life, and I'll let you have a jar of Yochslauntia. It's very good ointment. I've a cause to know. It'll preserve you from any form of burn or scald, or heal you of any wounds at all. Just rub the ointment on. I think I'll just have a dab of it myself after that buffet you just gave me with that shillelagh. Oh, let me go now. There's a good fella." So the lad let the giant go, and the giant said, "Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye." And the lad went away home with the sticks. Oh, he was sure he was the dandy now. He'd wander through the streets of the town of an evening wearing his goatskin kilt and carrying the 10-foot shillelagh. You may be sure the locals sniggered at his outfit, but he took it in good part and put it down to admiration. As he was strolling and taking the air, he heard a proclamation. The bugler came up and bugled, and the bugler said, "My lords, ladies, and gentlemen, the king's only daughter will be given in marriage to whoever can make her laugh 3 times. Oh, she was a very sad sort of girl. The lad with the goatskin thought to himself, "Hey, well, maybe I could make her laugh. Everyone laughs at me except my mother. Off he went to the king's castle without losing a moment's speed. At the gates of the castle the guards were posted, and they saw this great lout in a goatskin, all grey with ashes, lounging about with a 10-foot shillelagh, and he said to them, "I've come to see the king regarding his daughter's hand in marriage." And the guards said, and by way of a joke, they stuck half an inch of bayonet in his leg, and the lad with the goatskin up with the shillelagh and made mincemeat of the first, and flattened the second. Oh, he was playing cricket with them. Pew, dong, he was sailing left and right in the air, and the king's daughter, looking out the window, saw her father's guards sailing left and right into the air, and she found it amusing. Unpleasant child, and she laughed. The lad with the goatskin was invited in then. He was given a present of money, and lodgings for the night. And with the money he went out and bought himself a lovely pair of corduroys and a nice tartan shirt. But he still wore the goatskin slung over his shoulder, stylish like. When he came back in his new duds, no one could recognise him, he looked that fine. And the king's daughter looked at him and she thought, what a nice young man. Now she'd another admirer in the court that week, the Prince of Fushy Bridge. And seeing this admiring look the lad got from the king's daughter, he was getting jealous. And the Prince of Fushy Bridge said to the king, "Yeah, do you know that big wolf that's up in the mountains there? Ken that one that's causing all the bother coming down and stealing all the cows and that? You know yon muckle big one? Well, why don't you get that Jimmy, whatever his name is, the lad with the goatskins, to bring that wolf down, and that'll settle his barry." And the king said, "Yeah, that's an awfully good idea. Jimmy, whatever your name is, lad with the goatskins, why don't you bring that big wolf into captivity? The one that's decimating all our prize cattle. Bring him here, and we'll favourably consider your suit in regard to our daughter." So the lad set off and never stopped till he got to the wolf's lair high in the mountains. Out lolloped the wolf, the biggest wolf ever seen, slavering at the mouth and not wagging its tail. The lad with the goatskin whipped out the fadan and began to play Follow Me Down to Carlow. The wolf got up on his hind legs and began to caper and skip, and the lad set off to town with the wolf behind him and beside him and round the front of him, jigging for all it was worth. The people looked out their windows, terrified. Then they heard the music, and they all began to dance like bedlamites. And the king came out and he heard the music, and he started to dance, roll, 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 roll. And the Prince of Fushy Bridge heard the music, and he began to dance. And the princess saw what was happening to everybody, and she laughed. The lad stopped playing then. "That's twice you've laughed," said the lad with the goatskin to her. And the king was outraged at being made to dance, and he had no intention of giving his daughter in marriage to this interloper, and he said, "Listen here, goat chappie. If you wish to pursue this unlikely courtship, here's what you must do. We wish you to go to hell. Absolutely. And bring back the devil's iron flail. It's the only thing that will get rid of these damned Vikings that are plaguing our coast and creating a frightful brouhaha." Well, they gave the lad specific directions how he was to get to hell. It wasn't that far from Detroit, actually. He got on the escalator, and down he went. He came to the gates of hell, you see, 29,000 miles high, pillars of flame, and a boiling moat all about it. He looked inside the gates. He could see all these little black imps hopping about, saying,
"Hehehe, just one drop more won't hurt you."
He knocked on the door. It was molten, you know. Luckily, he had the magic ointment, the yoch sláinte, all over his face and hands so as not to get burned. The door was opened. He walked in, and he said to the devil, "Good morning." The devil said, "But what are you doing here?" "I just came to get the iron flail for to wallop the Vikings and that." He could see the flail hanging on a hook at the back of the devil's house, but the devil said, "I do not want to give you this magical flail. Some of these Vikings are my best customers." So the lad up with the shillelagh and began making mincemeat out of the nearest imps and demons, hammering them about like skittles and wrecking the place, and knocked down all the devil's favourite pictures of politicians and generals. And he was making a hell of a mess out of hell till the devil said, "I do not like this man. Give to him the satanic weapon in question, and do not ever give him admission here again." So the lad took the iron flail. It was white hot, and away back to the king's palace with it, and he put it on a rock outside. Sizzling it was. Out came the Prince of Fushy Bridge, thinking to make an end of the lad with the goatskin. and the Prince of Fushybridge picked up the iron flail, and it stuck to his hands. Oh, he was in agony. The only thing that could be done for him was that the lad with the goatskin should rub the prince's hands with his own, so the magic ointment, the Och Sláinte, should heal the Prince of Fushybridge. Oh, there was nothing for it then. They saw he was set on marrying the princess. The princess gave a sort of a laugh of happiness at the thought of it, and they were married, and how he fared in marriage, why, that's another story. But when the Vikings heard he'd got the iron flail of hell, they were never seen up and down those shores again, and that's the truth.